Hi, friends. Welcome to Direct Impact Broadcasting. The network of growth and transformation presents SOS for Leaders, where your host, Tywauna Wilson, will be sharing leadership and personal growth strategies. Let's jump right in.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of SOS for Leaders. I am your host, Tywauna Wilson. If this is your first time tuning in to the show, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you are able to find some practical tips that you can use in both your personal and professional life. If you are a returning guest, thank you so much for continuing to listen to the show. Please share this podcast out with somebody in your network that could benefit from hearing today's topic. Today, we will be talking about developing a champion's mindset. People who display a champion's mindset often display the same recurrent personality traits. If you do any kind of research on the topic, you will find that there are many winning traits. Of course, everybody has their own personality, and life would be boring if we were all the same. But what we will discuss today are 10 key traits that everybody must have in order to develop a champion's mindset. When you develop the champion's mindset, you will be identified as someone who has the power to attract people to your side. Successful salespeople often have this type of personality. They do not oversell. Instead, they attract people to them so that they see the value in what they have to offer. Top companies look for certain traits in prospective employees. These traits include having a professional appearance and manner, having a high level of energy, being confident and showing good body language, as well as showing intellectual curiosity. You also want to come across as being a friendly person to everyone you meet, because as we know, people like to do business and hang around people they know, like, and trust. By displaying friendliness, you are creating respect and loyalty. Be open to meeting people halfway and by offering to help out when necessary. By using these tips and more information that I will cover with you today, you will be well on your way to developing a successful champion's mindset. So take out your pen and let's get started covering the 10 traits that every successful champion must have. And I like this quote by Muhammad Ali. It says, "Champions aren't made in gyms. Champions are made from something they have deep inside them, a desire, a dream, a vision. They have to have the skill and the will, but the will must be stronger than the skill." So I love that quote because it is where there's a will, there's a way, and you got to have that will in order to want to be a champion. So let's jump into the 10 traits that separates the winners from the, second placers. The first one is persistence. True champions exhibit persistence on a daily basis. They don't fade in the face of obstacles, and they plow through them tirelessly, always striving towards their next goal. So it doesn't matter how steep the hill might be, they will continue trudging up the hill and keep being persistent of trying to reach the goal. When you think about those winners in your circle, think about it. Aren't they always persistent, where they keep trying and almost like the little engine it could, that no matter how difficult it might be, they still keep pushing forward? And that's persistence. The second trait is fearlessness. If you want to be a winner or a champion, there is no time for fear. Fear will only hold you back. If you have a dream, don't be afraid to do anything it takes to reach for it. And that's anything that's legal or ethical, of course. But don't let fear come to take your dream away from you. Don't let fear tell you that you're not good enough. Don't let fear stop you from applying for a job that you know you are overqualified for. Having that fearlessness. And that's a trait of a champion. The next one is think before you speak. A champion isn't afraid to speak their mind, but they make sure everything they say is well thought out for maximum effect. So they don't just talk off the top of their head. They are mindful of what they are saying so that it has maximum impact. So think about when you are in critical situations, make sure you think before you speak. This will allow you to be as tactful as possible, and it'll also let you consider all sides of the story. So when you are a manager representing your team, you want to make sure that you think before you speak. The next trait is sincerity. A champion means what they say. And they say what they mean, but they don't say it mean. They don't hide behind fake words and empty praise. They are confident enough to say what they mean. So they're sincere. They're sincere about giving praise to people, and they really, really mean it. And so that is a trait of a champion, being sincere. Positive attitude. True champions have bad days. We all do. But they don't let it take over their life. They stay positive and they keep a healthy attitude and focus on their goals. So even when things don't work out, they still keep pushing. They say, well, that wasn't for me, but I'm going to keep pushing. I'm going to keep trying. And they maintain that positive attitude. Integrity. Champions are fueled by their values and beliefs. They know what they believe in and they don't waver in troubling times. So having integrity. A mentor once told me, and I stand by this advice that they gave, which was to always know where you stand before you are faced with trouble. So before you are faced with a difficult decision, already know where you stand. Then you don't have to worry about making a decision that might be against your values, that might compromise who you are. So make sure that you are firm and know what you believe and know what you are willing to do. Because as you are going through your career, you will find that there are some decisions that you'll have to make at different points of your career, especially as you climb the ladder and get further and further up the ladder. And so you want to make sure that you are clear on your core values so that if you are asked to do things that are not in alignment, it's an easy choice, easy decision for you. Helpfulness. Helping people is one of the best ways to generate the good will that fosters a champion mindset. We're all here to serve. We're here to help our sphere of influence. We're here to help the next person. So being helpful is part of developing a champion mindset. Ambition. If you don't want to be a champion, and I mean really want it more than anything else, you never will be. So you got to have that ambition, because the road is not always going to be easy. There are going to be forks in the road. There are going to be hurdles in the road, and it's going to be tough at times. So you have to know that you know that you know that it is something that you really, really want, and you're going to work to get it regardless. And so having that ambition, having that fuel, having that fire up under your feet. Responsibility. Champions know that they are 100% in control of their own destiny and don't use excuses when things go wrong. Accepting responsibility for your decisions. You never know if a decision is a good one or a bad one until after you make it. And every decision it won't be a good decision. But taking responsibility for that. I messed up. That wasn't a good decision. I should have thought about this. I should have done more research. I should have asked for help. But taking responsibility is the first step of being a champion, and not, well, it didn't work out because of this, or making excuses or putting it off on somebody else. And the last trait is compassion. There is nothing weak about showing compassion. A real champion knows this. Using their ascent to greatness to uplift the people around them creates the kind of goodwill that will ensure they continue winning. So being compassionate, really caring about the people that you serve, caring about your team, caring about your family, really having that desire and that compassion for others is part of having a champion mindset. When I think of somebody that developed a champion mindset, I think about Nelson Mandela. Nelson was the son of a tribal king, and he was expected to follow in his father's footsteps. But instead, he chose to become a lawyer and worked extremely hard to achieve this. He continually had to battle against the South African apartheid movement, which didn't make things any easier for him. Despite all the odds against him, Nelson Mandela was eventually able to practice law. He helped many Black South Africans survive in the apartheid system. In the 1960s, he was sent to jail for opposing the apartheid. Even though the apartheid system was powerful in South Africa, Nelson Mandela played a vital role in bringing about the end of it. He was responsible for making the first real democratic elections take place. Without his persistence, none of this would have ever happened. So that just lets you know that having a champion's mindset is crucial, especially when you think about all of those who have experienced success over our lifetime. So as you continue beyond your day, think about developing the anatomy of a champion mindset. And do you have the persistence, fearlessness? Are you able to think before you speak? The sincerity, positive attitude, integrity, helpfulness, ambition, responsibility, and compassion. So thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of SOS for Leaders. I hope you were able to get some practical tips that you can use in both your personal and professional life. Don't forget to share this podcast out to your network. I would really appreciate that you share this message with them. You can do so on your favorite podcast platform, Google Play, Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or you can go to the directimpactbroadcasting.com website. Until next time, I hope you have an amazing week, and I look forward to bringing you another episode.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of SOS for Leaders, where Tywauna shared nuggets of wisdom that you can use to win in life. Follow her on Facebook, Instagram, and connect on LinkedIn. And remember, the secrets of success in your life resides inside of you. When you know what your strengths are, you can utilize them to live an impactful and influential life.